What if you're not lazy? What if the thing you've been calling laziness is actually something else? Because I had a moment today that made me question that word completely.
Oh, this is practically mindful shit. Loving myself while I'm losing it. Messing all.
So it's Saturday. We're in the middle of cleaning the house, in and out of rooms, doing what needs to be done. And we take a break. We sit down on the porch with our food just to breathe. No big conversation, no deep dive, just a pause, a moment in between doing. And then we go back inside. And I keep moving through the day. But something from earlier lingers. Because this word, lazy, is something that Jeremy and I have been using recently. Not in a joking way, not in a dismissive way, but in a we're trying to name what we're seeing so we can work through it kind of way. And as I'm moving through the house, that word comes back up. And I start thinking, where did that come from? And that's when the memory hits me. The story he told me about working construction with his grandfather, how when it was time for lunch, he would eat and then just not go back to work. And my mind tries to connect it like, oh, maybe that's it. Maybe that's where this started. Maybe that's the root of what we've been calling laziness. But then something in me pauses again because that didn't feel complete. Because if that's where it came from, then what did he believe about himself in that moment? As a kid, did he tell himself, I'm lazy, I don't follow through, something's wrong with me? And then I thought, what if he's still holding that? And not just him. What if we're reinforcing it every time we say the word now? Even with good intentions, even while trying to fix it. Because we think we're identifying the issue. But what if we're actually reinforcing the label? So I had to ask myself, what does lazy even mean? Like really, not the quick definition, not the label, but the truth. Because the way we use that word, it shuts everything down. It names the behavior, but ignores the signal underneath it. And what came up for me was this. Laziness is not a character flaw. It's a misread signal. Because what if laziness isn't about not doing? What if it's about not moving when something in you doesn't agree with the movement? Sit with that. Because sometimes what we call lazy is actually exhaustion, burnout, overwhelm, fear, disconnection, or even, I don't see myself in this. But instead of asking what's actually going on, we collapse all of it into one word, lazy. And even in that story, him not going back after lunch, what if that wasn't laziness? What if that was misalignment? What if something in him said, this ain't it? And instead of being understood, it got labeled. And now, years later, we're still using that same word, trying to fix something that may have never been what we thought it was. So here's what I'm taking from this, and maybe you need this too. Instead of asking, why am I being lazy? Ask, what am I actually feeling right now? Is this exhaustion or avoidance? Is this fear or misalignment? Do I not want to do this? Or do I not feel connected to it? Because the goal isn't to shame yourself into movement. The goal is to understand yourself well enough to respond correctly. And listen, sometimes it is avoidance. Sometimes it's discipline. Sometimes it's discomfort. But even then, that's still not laziness. That's something to work through, not something to become. Because the moment you change the question, you change the way you show up. That's it for today's PMS episode. I'm Stacey, because really, mindfulness shows up in the everyday, the small, simple things that end up being the most profound. Until next time, pour it, sip it, breathe it, live it.
Practically mindful shit. Catch up. Pour it, sip it, breathe it, live it.